Okay, this is super crazy. You know how we've been talking about Trump's campaign is just spiraling. And he, at the press conference we already reviewed, just looked really bummed out. And behind the scenes, reportedly, he's lashing out at all of his staff members, and he's so angry. Well, he holds an event today. And I feel like, this is my speculation, and then I'll play you a couple clips that I think bolster this. I think his campaign realizes we can't keep allowing him, otherwise we're going to lose, to go out like he did the NABJ and at that press conference and question Harris's identity, go after her, laugh, petty insults, because then the contrast based on what's being reported correctly in the media is Trump doing these petty attacks, Harris with this really motivating message. That contrast is going to sink Trump. We're seeing Harris surge in the polls, right? So what they did, I don't know for sure, maybe this was scheduled for a while, but it kind of popped up on his schedule last minute. He schedules a speech in Asheville, North Carolina that is labeled as a conversation about the economy. Trump speaks about the economy. And then they wrote a script for him that's supposed to be one that can more universally motivate people, right? Oh, economic issues, people feel that, and then he'll blame them on Harris, but in a more level-headed way. And instantly, he can't help himself. And he does the thing that's causing his campaign to fall apart, which is fail to attack Harris in ways that anyone resonates with other than his base. And his staff is desperately trying to help him out here, to save the campaign, by saying, okay, I haven't seen this from him in a long time. It's not a rally. It's not a general speech. It's, as it was labeled, a speech about the economy to keep on script. And what you're going to see here is him going, they tell me I'm supposed to be talking about the economy because it's the most important thing. I don't know if it's the most important thing. But first, here's what I mean by he just utterly failed to do the thing his whole speech was designed to do, which is give the media something else to report on that's not him with these insane petty attacks, questioning her identity, etc. And instead, the economy, okay? And instantly he goes to this. Then I'll show you him not really loving his own script.
Nearly 4 years, Kamala has crackled as the American economy has burned. What happened to her laugh? I haven't heard that laugh in about a week. That's why they keep her off the stage. That's why she's disappeared. That's the laugh of a crazy person, I will tell you, if you haven't known it. It's a crazy... She's crazy. They told her, don't laugh, don't laugh. No, it's her. No, her laugh is career threatening. They said, don't laugh. She hasn't laughed. She doesn't laugh anymore. It's smart, but someday it's going to come out. That's the laugh of a person with some big problems.
She, of course, does laugh, and they're not going to be playing clips of the parts where he talks about inflation or something. And we could address the dishonesty in his argument there, as we have, but instead it's back to, oh, Trump's attacking the laugh. Is that his message against her versus the strong and important message being brought by Harris? And then last thing before what I find to be the funniest part, he brings up the Time magazine again, which in the Elon Musk interview, he said Kamala Harris, oh, well, she looked beautiful, but it was a sketch. And, she reminded me of Melania Trump.
And then they decided to get politically correct. We have to put her in. They put her in. And now they're putting her on the covers of Time magazine with an artist sketch. They don't use a picture. They don't use a picture. They use an artist sketch. I want to use that artist. I want to find that artist. I like him very much.
And so again, now he's talking about how her Time magazine, her laugh, and you can tell here he's not really excited about having to stay on message. He can't do it. Every time his staff gave him this perfect little bubble to operate within. You're going to go up there. We're going to give you a script about the economy. You're going to deliver it. We're going to name the event not a Trump rally, not a Trump speech. We're going to name it a speech about the economy to pressure you, to box you into a corner, so you have to talk about just the economy. Don't do the NABJ thing again. And he can't do it. And here, you can tell he doesn't love this.
We're talking about a thing called the economy. They wanted to do a speech on the economy. A lot of people are very devastated by what's happened with inflation and all of the other things. So we're doing this as a intellectual speech. You're all intellectuals today. Today we're doing it, and we're doing it right now, and it's very important. They say it's the most important subject. I think crime is right there. I think the border is right there, personally. We have a lot of important subjects because our country has become a third world nation. We literally are a third world nation. We're a banana republic in so many ways, and we're not going to let that happen because we're starting a free fall. But from today and from the day I take the oath of office, we will rapidly drive prices down and make this.
This was captioned by Aaron Rupar. Holy word salad, Batman. He did really struggle. We're going to start this now. We're going to do it now. And today, and from the day that I take the Oval Office, yeah, and here he continues on this idea later on. Really just confused as to why he has to stay on the subject.
220. And this isn't rally, but this is a different kind of a thing. Today we're going to talk about one subject, and then we'll start going back to the other because we sort of love that, don't we? But it's an important, they say it's the most important subject. I'm not sure it is, but they say it's the most important. Inflation is the most important, but that's part of economy. Kamala Harris wants to be in charge of the entire U.S. economy, but neither she nor her running mate is the beauty, isn't he?
Isn't it interesting that you would say, they tell me the economy is the most important thing. I don't think it is, but inflation, well, I guess that's a part of the economy. Couldn't you have thought of all this before you go on stage? But again, the big takeaway to me is, in a strange way, my concern is that his staff, the aides around him, his advisors, will be able to, or people we've been seeing, Nikki Haley, we saw Kevin McCarthy, we've seen Fox contributors all saying, please, Trump, stop, please, you're sinking your own campaign. Just get on a policy message, please. And my fear is, even though I would prefer him not saying all the vile things he does that are getting him into trouble, strategically, if we're just saying raw strategy, or just what makes victory more likelihood, I don't want him to figure out what a better, more cohesive, widely appreciated message could be against Harris. And I would prefer he stumbles around until election day. And this is an example of, even in the most controlled environment, speech on the economy, he's even saying, they told me, we're going to keep it about the economy today. We got this one box we got to stay in. And he still has to go after the laugh. That's going to be the clips that are played in reports about this speech, because it is the more notable part. When you get all petty, all of a sudden your generic normal things about the economy become less pressing and relevant, because we've heard them a million times. But I guess we've heard that a million times too. But these petty attacks become the focus. But just to give him his due, here's a couple other clips.
We have some very good polls coming out today, I just heard. Despite all of the fake publicity about this radical left person from San Francisco. How's San Francisco doing? Not like North Carolina. No, we have some very good polls coming out. So
this is something he's been doing lately, just wishful thinking, because the opposite's happening. He keeps being told, which is why he's having meltdowns in private, just based on the reporting, not my wording. He keeps being told the polls are looking worse and worse. So then he just goes out and says, I was just told right there, right backstage, that we have an incredible poll. Don't look for it. I don't think you can find it, but it's good. Trust me, it's good. All right. The majority of people who regularly watch this show aren't subscribed to it. That's kind of crazy, right? If that applies to you, do me a favor and click that subscribe button. Easy, free, but makes all the difference. I appreciate it. Back to the video. Here's more.
Nobody thought she had a chance. And I don't think she can possibly win. If she does, our country is finished. You want to know that? No.
Our country is finished. They say that describing Trump as a threat to democracy, which is an accurate description, is what caused the assassination attempt against him, even though, as we talked about, this wasn't motivated by left-wing ideology. Now the investigation has uncovered some stuff about his background. But even so, they say it's because people said he's a threat to democracy. But saying the country's going to be finished altogether, that's not provoking violence. Then you have this.
Personally, We have a lot of important subjects because our country has become a third world nation. We literally are a third world nation. We're a banana republic in so many ways, and we're not going to let that happen.
That's good old-fashioned America-loving patriotism, huh? Yeah, this.
Why hasn't she done it? You know, I keep saying, she's one of these complainers, you know, like a critic. I remember growing up, I'd see plays on Broadway, and I'd go to different things, and you'd always have critics, they criticize, but I'd see, and they were critical, but they never did it themselves, you know? She's a critic, that's all she is. She never did anything. Nothing that she ever did worked.
Yeah, except for all of the policy achievements that we've been talking about from the Biden-Harris administration for years now, and the recovery and the drop in crime and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I'm not super interested in going on to more clips because it's the same old, but I think that our takeaway should be, if even in this environment, as controlled as it was labeled, as he was told that we're going to keep you in a box, if even then he can't stay disciplined enough to not go on the petty personality attacks, he's not going to be able to figure it out between now and November. And for that, in a sense, we should be glad, because that's going to lead, hopefully, but it seems, to defeat. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments. If we get extra content daily, you can do so by clicking the join button below.